was yours.
Yeah.
Would you like to have that
I
back?
had, no, if I remember right, Todd and Kent, him and Kent Grunow graduated together.
Your
Close.
cousins.
And their cousins. I had the two of them in that Mustang when I was growing up with Kent's sister years and years ago. And, we did a 360 on the gravel road. I spun it around with those two knuckleheads in with me.
And that sealed the deal. He wanted it to. Saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Consider for approval of minutes and agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion by Derby and seconded by Jensvold to approve the minutes and agenda. All in favor? Say
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Discussion with possible action regarding COVID-19 policies. Do we have to, is it the end of the month, do we have to redo that again then?
Yeah, we just redid it at the beginning of this month, I think.
Yeah, we've got
End of
another
last
week,
month.
probably.
Well, we've got another week.
Oh, yeah, we do. Okay. Julie, are you on today? Can we go on to 3? Is there anything discussion? Summit, that's Julie. Is that you, Julie?
Yes, it is. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys today?
Good. How about you?
Good. Just review quick some of the numbers and then some of the stuff that we found out from the CMS mandate that will affect our office. The last 14 days, we're at a 14.7%. The last 7 days is 16.8 with 84 positive cases. Real time on the CDC is 24%, so we're still in the high range. County vaccination is at 50.1% and statewide is at 59.5%. The CDC mandate passed, and we're waiting to hear word if they're going to retroactivate that back or if they're going to pick a future date. The Home Health Organization is muddling through all the paperwork and will let us know as soon as possible. We did have to adjust our policy over there for those that were not vaccinated, that they will have to, we had to add in our policy for those that are not vaccinated, they will have to be tested weekly and they will have to be fitted with an N95 mask. And then that we provided education and offered the vaccine to them.
So that's only for the Medicaid, Medicare funded
Correct.
part of it, yeah.
Yep, that's for, since we take Medicare and Medicaid funding.
But the 100+ employee one was overturned by the courts, right?
Correct.
So do you just keep all that information that you had to gather
Yep.
on file and?
Yep, we do. And like when the surveyors come, that will be the first thing they will ask for. And we're creating spreadsheets because we have to show them that we are tracking all of our employees that have been vaccinated or not vaccinated. And that includes also our contract employees with PT, OT, speech, and all of that go into the client's home.
And who has to do all of that then? You, Julie, or just a copy?
Allison and myself.
Okay.
So vaccinated means you have to have your first set of shots?
Yep, the first 2, yep.
I suppose at some point they'll mandate the booster after so much.
Probably.
Not that it does any good, but just my opinion.
Julie,
So go ahead.
when is your next Board of Health?
Oh, yep, our Board of Health meeting is this Friday at 7:30. Time has changed. We have a lot on the agenda this time.
Maybe you'll have to have some cinnamon rolls or something.
I'm sure Allison will cook.
She does a good job with that.
So, yeah, so that's at 7:30. We'll discuss the budget, the CMS mandates, our sliding scale fee. We have our cost report, and our state consultant will be there to discuss what is happening with the new, what they're going to do in the next few years for the state grant. The funding is going to be different. And then once she talks to my Board of Health, then I'm sure she's going to come and talk to the Board of Supervisors.
Okay. And you said
And she did you guys receive that email regarding, that I sent you out regarding the new Board of Health member?
You mean the requirements or?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yep. And she said there was really no deadline. So,
Okay.
I just know our director had to be a DO or an MD, and that's Dr. Osterkamp. And she said yes right away. So it's just finding someone else that has some type of knowledge of public health. And she said even if it can be faith-based or anything like that.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Nope, not that I can think of.
I'll see you Friday at 7:30.
Alrighty, with bells on.
Have a good
Actually,
day.
I'll see you this afternoon at 1 for our budget meeting.
Oh, that's right. Yep, we'll see you then.
Alright, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Consider for approval auditor's quarterly report.
There's that line item, parking lot tickets.
Only one.
Is that what it is, $75?
Yep, just,
Is there still outstandings?
Probably. Not so many during the Christmas because nobody was here, you know.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the auditor's quarterly report.
I'll second it.
Motion by Derby and seconded by Jensvold to approve the auditor's quarterly report. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passed. Consider for approval liquor license for Rice Lake Golf and Country Club.
That's in my report.
Yeah, Todd's got his finished snowmobile ready to ride. He wants to take it out on a smooth trail. Of course, we haven't curved anything yet.
Much to,
So that's why he's trying to get over to Rice Lake to the lake, I suppose.
Well, he was asking if he could ride on the lake, and they said, well, not in the wildlife areas, but take some of the lake again.
You have to have a special tag for that?
He's gotta have a trail pass and a registration. I don't know if he has vintage registration or not. Since he doesn't live in the state, he can't get a vintage registration in Iowa.
Channel, was on the Outdoor Channel or something like that. I watched they had a vintage snowmobile rally at some lake. I think it was in Wisconsin, remember? Yeah, it was fun watching all that old snowmobiles.
Todd's got a couple of nice ones too. He was saying his 72 Nitro, I've got one of those too.
Nitro?
Yeah, 50 years old this year.
Oh, is that right?
He's got 2 snowmobiles?
He's got a 75 Nitro, 74 or 75 Nitro and a 72.
Hmm. And we have snow.
Some, they just didn't land in the right areas.
I don't know whether the ditches enough.
Yeah, it gets to the fence lines and club needs to go out and knock it down no matter what. Did they ever reroute that trail?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where does it go now?
People will probably still take the old one because,
Or the west?
east,
Oh, it's on the east side.
basically kind of in Kirby's field, but right across from my new build
Oh, okay. Coming.
that way. So it really just kind of went around that 80, that north 80 of mine.
Good.
Yeah, we'll see. A dog likes to chase them. And then people thought that was fun.
Since you're gonna be living over there, the dog's gonna be back and forth.
It could be interesting. You go to the next one, Carla?
Yep.
Okay, we'll
I
table.
told Chelsea to print it because I can't.
That's okay, we'll just table it. So Scott's around? Remember the number? Pardon? Oh, he's on vacation,
Yeah, but
so Ethan will be coming. Do you remember the number?
7530 is Scott's, that's what you call that.
Hey, is Ethan around that he can come up? Okay. Oh, I thought you were gone. Oh, well, sure, we'll take you. Sorry. All right, bye.
I'll bet he's now.
Oh, all right. You have to.
I guess. You don't want me?
Ethan probably gets a kick out of that one.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell the difference of their voices on there. That's funny.
Morning.
Sorry about that. We just,
I don't leave till tomorrow morning.
oops. You got for us, Scott?
Just general stuff, I don't have anything.
Well, plowed on Saturday, I guess, and the trucks made a round yesterday morning, and now maintainers are out plowing gravels. And then this afternoon it's supposed to get like 30 degrees again, so we're gonna try to get some of those protected areas in the blacktops scraped down thinner. So,
How much snow did we have?
I guess somewhere around that 8 and
Yeah, 7 here, 9 in Thompson.
yeah,
I don't know what else there was.
enough.
Okay.
Kind of all we're up to.
You got the newest North truck up and going yet? Or?
Yeah, we actually got that on the road. Friday was its first day on the road, and it got to plow snow right off the bat. So we're back to a full fleet, I guess.
Yeah, the timeline on that went a little faster than I expected. You guys, I mean, had a lot of time to work on it. Aaron and Larry and
Larry and Andy did a little bit.
Which you less breakdowns from being out plowing snow and stuff, so you have a little more time to.
yeah, and just, you know, some of the guys like Andy and Larry that if they're not plowing snow, they can get in the shop and do some shop work and fabricate, and so they did a really nice job, and that's quite a project really to put a truck with.
And it probably helps if they can spend quality time on it rather than an hour here and an hour there.
Yeah, that's really the difference, I think, between, you know, just having Aaron work on it, like the last one really was more like that.
Yeah, Larry helped out a little bit, but
You know, have guys you can get started working on something and then go, you know, take care of other business. Yeah,
when Aaron gets or when we have a truck breakdown, Aaron has to go away from it, and then nothing's getting done on it. But at least when Larry's there, he's always working on it, so it's always moving. So that helped out.
yeah, so kudos to those guys, they did a nice job.
Plus down the road, you'll have more experienced people to do things like that.
Definitely.
Overlap of duties.
Yeah, we got a pretty well-rounded crew right now. A lot of that stuff.
So how many are there at each location?
Buffalo's got 5. Thompson Mechanic Shop's got 2 mechanics, and then the Uptown Shop in Thompson has 2. And then 5 guys in Lake Mills and 5 guys in Forest City. Say that right?
I don't think I had anything for roads.
Talked to Ethan about some plowing, but I think we got that figured out, so.
Good.
I wasn't sure how that worked with the north side of Rice Lake that is state that goes into where, I don't know, what do you, north access of Rice Lake,
North Shore is
North Shore, how that worked for plowing. So he was explaining that they have an agreement with the state.
To inform.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it probably needs to be addressed again because they only pay us, what, $300?
it's pretty minimal what we get paid on it. We don't plow it all the time. I mean, if we're out, like today we're plowing, we won't plow it. Our main priority is roads. So then we'll go back to it like a day or two afterwards and get it
So
over with.
like when you had the event on Friday, you eventually get to it maybe, but
Yeah, tomorrow, maybe later today if Andy gets time. The ice fishers that go out there and they're going on the lake anyways.
That's what I thought too. They're gonna be fucking drifts when they get out on the middle of the lake too.
Yeah.
But
The worst part is that, like, the boat landing part that we don't plow anyway. That's the part that fills in the most. You still make it out there.
TJ loads up the skid loader and takes over there
Oh, does it?
sometimes.
You could just keep it at your place and just go on the south side.
Yeah, you should.
anything else?
All right, that's good. Thanks, guys.
No, they're not done yet.
Oh, they're not?
No, they got 6 and 7.
Oh, I never looked. Oh. Go 6, approve plans and specifications for paving project.
Well, we talked about this project a number of times. We have agreement with the city of Lake Mills for their portion. This is paving of R-74 north from Lake Mills, and then A-16 up to 490th, I guess I'll call it. So not the east-west part to Scarville. Those last 2 miles are not included. So it's about a 5-mile project. When this project goes to bid through the DOT in April. What's that?
You said it was next summer, right, then? Or no?
Thank you.
Yeah, so pretty soon we'll know what the DOT is gonna recommend for a late start date, and we'll take a look at that and make sure that it fits what we wanna see this summer, but yeah, most likely.
In next year's budget.
It's actually farm to market, so
Your money doesn't pass through us then?
it doesn't pass through our local budget. Basically, you program it in the year you're gonna let it, kind of appropriate the funds, and then what budget year that money is spent is kind of irrelevant for us. It doesn't really change what we do.
Is this proposal on cleaning that ditch and what to do with the spoils and all of, does that affect any of that, or can it affect it?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, we're paving and putting down rock shoulders with this project. The ditch pipe pull-out project, I mean, really shouldn't even be on the foreslope of the road at all. So, you know, it'd be 30, 40 feet of separation between anything related on these projects, so.
Widening the road, then you could use all the spoils.
Something like that, sure, yeah.
Yeah,
If it's proper spoil.
yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, based on the culvert replacement, the soil down there is probably not very suitable for an embankment. So hopefully there's just room enough down there to waste it.
So where does that come out of, that, the details and the engineering of that then?
Plans I drew with, well, Eric, actually this is his first plan set he's worked on, so he's teaching himself AutoCAD and most work on this one actually. There's not a whole lot of engineering work that goes into paving plans, I wouldn't say. You know, I'm not going to say you need to be brilliant to put this together. It's basically pictures of the road, where to start and stop, and reference to the standard specifications that tell the contractor what products to use.
A little more complicated because it's got corners and curves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you shouldn't have told me that. I was prepared to be impressed.
I'm never the engineer to say that only an engineer can do engineering work. You know,
So we're allowed to engineer then too?
well, I mean, you're not allowed to put your signature on it. That's the main difference. But, you know, when Doug and Mark, who I worked with for many years, were, you know, very good and capable with a lot of this stuff, and taught me a lot too, so.
That's one thing I've heard through Chris Diggins down at Nyakog. He was always impressed with what Doug could do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you just had done it for a long time and learned from some good, some knowledgeable guys too. And just a few important decisions to make along the way, and
Just like most of our drainage contractors, they pretty well know how to do it.
Yeah. And a lot of it's kind of template work where you're just kind of filling in what
yeah.
you have.
So we all need to sign this after some, is there any more discussion? And, it's all
You're just-
good, but we all need to sign, don't we?
Yeah, it's kind of a formality, but it's nice to see all three signatures on the plans. In 60 years, we'll look back and say, that's interesting. Part of your legacy as a board member.
It is fun to drive around the county and see things that have been approved through here, and kind of cool.
You need a blue pen. You need a blue pen.
I just switched. I've noticed that.
It's just my preference.
I know.
No, we sign everything in blue here.
Then you know it's not a copy.
You'll make the motion then?
I will. I'll make the motion to approve the plans and specifications for A1, A16, R74 paving project number FMCO 9582 5595.
I'll second it.
And a motion by Smith and seconded by Derby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passed.
Next thing on this will be a contract to approve, so that'll be, end of April or early May before you see anything really.
You said this was milled and cold in place and
Yeah, so the north-south stretch, the 2 miles, we'll mill first, 2 inches off of that, and then we'll cold in place the entire thing, and then we'll pave the entire thing.
Mill in place, is that where they grind it up and put it right back down?
Cold in place recycling is where they grind it up and put it right back down, yep.
that you won't be milling the rest of it.
We won't. So part of it is thicker now than others, so we're kind of taking some off the thicker portion so that it's now the same after we're done.
It gets spread on the whole thing then.
Yeah, so there's some economics that we went through to figure out, is it cheaper to mill some and then use it in the mix and offset some of the virgin asphalt binder? And turns out we think it's cheaper to do that, even though it's kind of more work. It saves them enough money on the tail end buying new binder. So that's what we decided to do.
So you'll do the cold in place and then there will be another lift or?
Yeah, cold in place is 4 inches, and that's kind of, looks a little bit crumbly almost, especially if it's not real hot. But it'll get packed down under traffic, and then they'll put 2 extra lifts of new asphalt on top for a total of 3 inches.
Want to go to 7? Discussion with possible action regarding assistant maintenance superintendent job description and hourly wage.
Yeah, so in the past, when Mark Johnson was the maintenance superintendent, Mark Kroll was the assistant. The way they had it set up in the system is that when Mark Johnson was gone, Mark Kroll would make an extra $1.50 per hour for the hours that he was gone. It was kind of like it was just a payroll code, really, more than a title. And so Mark Kroll retired here a while back, and then Mark Johnson. So we're kind of taking another look at what this position looks like. Ethan has been superintendent for about a year now, so now we're looking at what do we do when he's gone or sick or on vacation, and also just how do we kind of share some responsibilities so that we can be seamless when he's not available. And so I've created a job description for assistant maintenance superintendent. It combines the job description for the maintenance guys, and the superintendent kind of finds a balance, because this person would be an operator just like they are now, just with additional responsibilities. So they still have a plow route in the winter, they'd still have a summer route in the summer, or be on the dirt crew, whatever their current role is. They would just have kind of an extra level of responsibility. We're trying to set it up so that person kind of gets a regular shot at making decisions through the winter too, just as practice for when they're making decisions without Ethan. Skills and certifications, license, physical requirements, all those things are pretty much the same as current maintenance job description. This person maybe would be put through a little more training. Just kind of have a seat at the decision-making table a little bit more. We propose to make this position 105% of the base wage, so from here and moving forward, it would adjust with the base wage in the contract for the Workmen's Association. Mark Kroll was making $1.50 extra in, I don't know, 1990 or something like that, and it was $1.50 extra in 2019. So it just kind of like lost its value over time. And so hopefully we can give this position kind of more what it deserves, I think. The wage would be around the year for all hours. So it'd be kind of more responsibility all the time, somebody who's always in that position, I guess.
What's the current base wage?
$24.50.
And before was it $1.50 all the time, or just when you were serving in that capacity?
Just serving in that capacity, so really didn't ever amount to much. This would amount to a little bit more, but we're going to expect a little bit more out of the position. My biggest problem with it before was that I think we treated it more like a substitute teacher than we did an actual leadership position. And Mark Kroll certainly did exhibit leadership skills. But I think we can do more to kind of cross-train two positions for those teachers.
So it's probably what, $1,500 to $2,000 a year extra.
In that ballpark, yeah. We had consulted with Mr. Galloway on what the process was for this, and to create a job included in the Workmen's Association, basically we write a job description, come up with a wage that we're all amenable to, and then the Workmen's Association gets to negotiate the wage if they desire. If not, we post the job and hire from within. That's the process we would follow.
So this would take effect when?
If we approved it, we'll go ahead and implement the job, so it would be effective whenever somebody gets selected.
Because our negotiations cover starting the 1st of July. So that'll be kind of the catch. Not sure how that's going to work.
Be some logistics to trying to get this in that contract, but I don't
I
think
would, usually leadership roles don't fall under union contracts.
he said this one would be included because it's not
It's not a
supervisory on a, everybody reports to the superintendent. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't have direct reports all the time. So while I say it's leadership, it probably wouldn't technically qualify as a leadership position for the definition of it. Whether you fall into a bargaining group or not.
Okay.
I think leadership is for everybody.
Let me write that down. How was that again?
You don't want to end up like some state organizations where you have too many people in leadership and nobody's actually doing the work.
That's true too.
They've had that problem.
So the biggest advantage of this, other than helping out Ethan, is what?
Continuity for one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
I'm
it.
just, I want people to know.
Yeah, I don't think it's right for us to expect Ethan to be on call and in the county 24/7 all year round. I think he deserves to have a little bit of time for his family and himself. And he hasn't really asked for that, but I think that's important. So that just means we need to have guys who can step in.
I think in the past it probably created a little burnout.
That's important too, yeah. I mean, think about it, not only is the position working a lot, but they're also just up in the night watching the conditions and just getting strung out that way. I mean, it takes a lot to know what the conditions are doing every hour, not just outside your bedroom window, but everywhere in the county.
So that's what, I think it said in there, one week in the winter they'd be in charge, 1 week in the summer they'd be in charge, plus certain weekends.
I wrote one week in the winter and then 1 weekend a month, just as a target, just to try and, at least to say, here, you guys are riding together, making decisions kind of together, so we just so they know how each other makes decisions, and so that if somebody's gone, for the public, it kind of looks the same.
And how do you hire again, this position?
If it's approved by the board, then we have to give the bargaining group a chance to negotiate the wage. And if they don't want to, we'll post it basically to the shops and say, here's the job that's open, everybody from within can apply. And then we'll go through a selection process just like we would with a new hire.
So it's not an additional position, it's just adding additional duties.
Right.
And wage. Is there someone in your department that's already kind of doing that right now?
We've kind of shared, I don't know, when Ethan has been gone, he's kind of shared it around a little bit.
Yeah, kind of just did it to
Test the waters.
yeah.
It's kind of on a case by case or instance, scenario. It isn't like something that's ongoing and from just kind of per storm or per weekend or whatever. So no, Ethan is kind of without a substitute, I'd say, right?
I think it's a good investment in the additional budget demand and would allow for less burnout and more continuity towards the job, and so we got the overlap allowance. It's not like there's much of any extra benefits. It's more, if anything, it's just a little lighter. That's about it.
You think, Bill?
You guys care about that? What I think? Oh.
I do.
That's why I'm looking at you.
Well, I'm always for rewarding people for stepping up and taking extra responsibility. So, I guess you guys know whether the responsibility of the position is needed or not. You evidently do. As long as there is extra responsibility, is there going to be something where they're not going to be using it? I mean, there is kind of an advantage to the way it's done now, that when they're in that position, they're getting the extra, and when they're not, they're not. That part of it doesn't seem that bad, but I think the responsibility is going to be there to justify it as all year round.
That's my plan. I think that when you give one person so much responsibility that, they make themselves, impossible to do without, then your department's kind of setting up for failure. I think that anything important needs to be able to be done by more than one person. Otherwise, you get too reliant on the individual.
We've had some of that in the past. I guess, real problem with it, I guess.
I think with the amount that it's gonna cost the county is probably valuable.
So our action today would include adding the job description. And would we start with an hourly wage then?
I think the action would be to approve the job description, which the wage is included in here. So you'd be basically approving both things, if that's what you want to do.
Can we see it?
Yep. I would just have you stamp the job description. That's what you want to do?
You emailed that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So when it says the county reserves the right to change or reassign job duties or combine positions at any time, who is the county?
We have that on all of our job descriptions. It just means that, this is a summary of your job duties, but we can always make changes. I don't know if all of our job descriptions have been approved by the board in the past, but that's kind of how I like to do it. It's just kind of,
I think when there's been any changes, we stamped it.
yeah, that seems like the appropriate step for me, because then everybody's on the same page about what this job actually is and what to expect from it.
You don't have the wage on there though.
It's in there on the last page at the bottom under benefits.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Oh, it's just 105% of the 2450, right?
Yeah, so,
So that'll be a moving target.
It'll be a moving target, yep.
Okay. So do we have any action on this?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the job description for the assistant maintenance superintendent job in the road.
I'll second it. A motion by Derby and seconded by Smith. Assistant maintenance superintendent job description and hourly wage has been approved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passed.
Now, just so I have a approval on record, you want to stamp it and sign it? And somewhere? Didn't really leave room for that.
How quickly will you post that then?
Well,
We'll give it an angle.
see how well I can get organized today.
You're just not trained.
But I'm not sure.
Well,
The guys have been made
This is your
aware of it,
ass.
so they're expecting it, so we'll try and get it out as soon as we can.
My theory is if you put the words the same, it just blends in. If you put it at an angle, it stands out.
Accents it just a little, so it's got your special touch.
Maybe you should get new colored ink for that. Those, like red ink. or
High impact times where you rotate it to red.
Fluorescent something. I like that idea.
Don't forget the budget for it though.
Guys have anything
Yeah,
else
it's
for
moving
us?
better now. We just got those.
So,
Appreciate you working with me on this.
Have a good
What else?
vacation.
Yeah, thanks. See how it goes dragging two little kids around the
Yeah, you're going
Pacific Northwest.
farther
All I can
away.
say is, don't bring anything home with you.
Yeah, we'll try.
Are you driving or flying?
No, we're flying, so we're gonna try and be careful and do our best.
Have you been there before?
Yeah, yep. My wife has relatives out there.
Oh, nice. It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
I've flown out there with my family, like in 2007. We rented a car, drove through Idaho and around.
yeah.
Got rear-ended in Astoria. Some drunk fisherman rear-ended us in a rental car. That was a complication.
Yeah, that sounds bad. We have a rental car too, so hopefully ours goes smooth.
So one thing I learned from that is don't count on your insurance because your deductible has to be paid before you take the car back when there's an accident.
Oh,
So if you get their insurance, it's just covered.
well, we're gonna move to drainage matters 8.
You're welcome to stay.
Yeah, you wanna stay for some fun?
You wanna do that liquor license quick?
Oh, yeah.
What do you got on your drainage agenda?
That's what Chris has. I don't know, maybe she's got something on there for 92.
No.
Call her.
No, because we're gonna jump back to number 4,
Oh, okay.
approve the liquor license for Rice Lake Golf and Country Club.
Stamp it.
Yes, please.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Almost made a rookie mistake there.
I love my job. I love my job. I have to say it 3 times just before I believe it.
I'll make do you make the motion yet on the Bryce Lake?
I did not.
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion to approve the liquor license for Rice Lake Golf and Country Club.
I'll second it.
Motion by Smith and seconded by Derby to approve the liquor license for Rice Lake Golf and Country Club. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? It's passed.
They must be open in the winter, huh? I know my sister-in-law's retirement party will be next month.
Oh, they will open for things, yeah.
Okay.
And they have board meetings
It's
and
not
stuff,
regular.
not normally. I wish they were. Okay, Chris, huh?
7511.
3511?
7511.
7511. Hey, Chris, we're ready for you. You remember those?
You ever wonder why we can't trust the trees?
The what?
Why we can't trust the trees?
You can. No?
They're too shady. Bad joke of the day.
Wow.
That was a bad joke. Hello.
Robert said that on that district we talked about last week, it'll take 2 to 3 weeks to get a determination, a wetland determination. So I said, no worries, we'll just wait until we hear from him to know what that looks like, to know if we can spread that dirt, whatever, so. It wasn't gonna get done right now anyway.
Go on as an improvement, right?
I don't know yet. I think we'll have to figure that out. I think so, but
And how, then you have to have wetland determinations that in that whole area,
probably.
including that piece of land it's on.
And maybe some people already do.
So that comes from FSA, that information.
Yeah, usually the engineer sends a letter to the landowners, copies us on it, and gives them the information they need to go to get that determination.
So basically that's tabled just until we get that information and then we'll
Yeah.
go from there.
My recommendation is it's an improvement, just to make sure, or at least have an engineer. Make sure that we're doing it right, make sure that it's not changing the water flow, see what the best way to do it, if they want to straighten it or not.
So currently, we're in the process of waiting for Robert to determine wetlands, and then from there, we would engineer to determine what the project would be.
Yeah. Because we wanted to know where we could spread the dirt, because that was a big issue. So we just need to wait for that determination to know if we can, to see where to go next.
We could put it on the shoulders of that road that's gonna get widened.
Sure, they would love it.
That was why I was asking, because I thought if there could be some type of a coordination with the new blacktop that was going through there, I mean, or at least not get in each other's way.
Yeah.
Too.
But it sounds like it'd be a lot of truckloads.
So if we have a spot to stockpile it close, then it can just be spread later.
Or a
Yeah.
parking lot, or a, something, you know,
Yeah, if we could build up a new parking lot
build
to
a
the
new
south.
park, maybe it could be.
But then wasn't that talked about, but then we'd have to put in another culvert, and we're taking one out?
No,
So
well,
that
it
seems-
crosses
Well, it
the
depends
road
on
again,
where
so
they
it'd be
put it.
south of
Oh,
that.
I mean, maybe it wants to be a win-win thing here,
Sure.
you know?
Sure.
Just move the parking lot south and then you wouldn't have that problem.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
And that could be something when we were gonna go out and meet with him, with Robert anyway, it could be talked about.
Yeah. Because right now, I don't know how usable, I mean, that, I've never pulled in there or anything, the one that they
I,
have. So it must not be very big or noticeable, or, do you know where it is, Tim? I mean, how big is it?
It's not real big. No, it's one of those small, kind of like a trailhead, small trailhead type thing, you know?
Yeah, does it have rocks?
I'm not, there's gotta be something barrier there, I would think. I would pay attention to
To
that
drive
close.
back out there. Okay. Anything else? Here you go, Terry's gonna go look.
Look at the satellite.
How's the heat been in the courthouse? Has it been
Fine.
just fine? Supposed to get cold and windy again tonight.
I don't see any large rocks necessarily, but there's trees and it just kind of defines itself. I don't think it's an expensive parking lot.
Well, maybe it could be improved.
Yeah, it's like, I don't see any crushed rock even, just the driveway is about all it is.
That's kind of what I thought, it must not be.
Grass they mow down just to
anything.
park on, I think is all it is. You know, maybe there's a rock or two. but there's much.
Okay. That's something we can talk about when we head out.
so I'll let you know when I hear from him. And then we'll
Perfect.
go from there.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yep.
Open forum.
I wonder if Sue was looking for open forum.
I'm sorry about there too.
Looking at the agenda. Not call Sue, man. Assessor's office.
Sure, I will.
It's
Oh,
just
right
received,
there.
right?
7, 5, and 2.
Well, actually, that'll be fine.
It's not an agenda to approve.
No, it's not.
Is he a department head
technically, I'm his
Hey
department
Sue, were
head.
you trying to get up here
For the
for
building, though, what
open
about
forum? We
like
just saw you
the
out
other
in the hall.
buildings? Are you in charge?
It
of
is a
the
good
buildings?
time, yep.
No,
Mm-hmm.
but like if somebody from the other buildings would have a problem with him, they would probably come talk to me.
Where is this number compared to what K1 was?
About $150 short of what I was making.
I didn't have the right date on that, did I?
Yes, you did. Just try to rub it in.
Hello.
Good morning. This is gonna be the easiest question of the day. Would, February 1st, usually we've been doing it about 11 or 11:30, work for my proposed budget?
That's the,
Yep, we have something else I know on the
But
first,
that's at 1 o'clock though.
but that's at 1.
Yeah, so we'd probably be okay for
okay,
11 o'clock
Yeah, we're usually done in a half hour.
if we wanted to give extra time for, we figured there'd be one of those coming.
just gotta make sure.
Yeah. I mean, we can also move it to like 10:30 if that might help you guys out for lunch.
Probably not so much us, it's probably the other people that have to be a part of it.
Well, how about 11 then
So
instead?
this is with the conference board?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, 11 o'clock might be better than 11:30. Because if you guys gotta be back here
And then
at 1.
they'll be able to call into this number if they can't make it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and
They'll have that up and going.
we're gonna do a good test on that, because we've had problems before, and so, okay, if that works, then we'll shoot for 11 o'clock on February 1st.
And what time is our other one?
I was gonna say, we've got February 1st is WHW.
But isn't that a one? Let me look it up. Just to verify.
I'm just trying to find it, but I can't find it.
We usually do it in the morning, it seems like. What day is February 1st?
Tuesday.
I'll never do it.
Okay, let me see here. Oh, I do have it at 11 a.m., so we are doing it, so we can.
Do assessor after lunch then?
Like 1 o'clock. You want to try it at 1?
Yeah, we've never tried it at 1, but I don't know why, You know. no.
I think it'd be enough time for the WHW to get their thing done. Might be a short lunch, but.
That's all right.
Shoot for 1 o'clock?
Yeah,
All right, because that way too, if it's cold or something like that, it's not quite so early for some of them if they want to travel. Okay,
so if we get down at the, I'm wondering, can we just dial up again at 1 o'clock for, okay, because the 11 o'clock wouldn't necessarily be on that or on the phone one.
Well, if you, I don't know what you guys do at WHW.
It's usually everybody just shows up if they can have a quorum.
Okay.
So I think it, yeah, we could probably, after we get down to our regular meeting, we'll shut it off and then start it up again at 1.
Sounds
Mhm.
good.
So if you just take the information off of here to distribute off the top of the agenda.
okay, I'll double check and see if that's got what I have in the past. 'Cause I don't believe it's been changed,
To
has it?
dial in, you mean?
Dial it in and for the,
And we'll do that all here, right?
Yeah. If we offer that, then the people that are busy can just call in and they don't have.
well, some of them really like to do it that way.
Yeah.
I know Doug Harmon does it a lot, and
Yeah.
Louise did it a lot from Rig. So that's a long, especially for the second one when it's about a 5-minute meeting.
It's usually Ryan and Cindy
And Cindy's not on it this year.
and, she's not,
No, Troy Thompson,
okay,
she's been on it for years, so she probably just decided,
she's just across the street.
yeah. So, changes again.
All right, sorry
All
about that.
right, no problem, thank you.
Thank you. Anything else for open forum? And moving on to 10. Well, sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the semi-monthly county claims.
I'll say that.
Motion by Derby, seconded by Jensvold to approve the semi-monthly county claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passed. Consider for approval payroll claims.
No, she hasn't yet.
I need to share the text that
I gotta run out to my truck to get some.
Yeah, payroll's gonna be a bit.
Okay.
But we've got a while, so. She just,
Where did Terry go?
I'll please pick up and get something.
Something that we need to deal with or
No, I have no idea what it was.
otherwise can we just table the payroll? And then,
well, they'll be done with it eventually, I would think, before we're done today, so.
time for our budget meeting to start back up.
We can see if, anybody can start early.
Not that I want to do that either. See, we're not supposed to have a meeting on these anymore. We're supposed to have a meeting tomorrow.
It's cold in
When
there.
it's cold.
We can't do anything else yet. But, I mean, I can always call it a meeting too, since Julie's over, we're done at 1:30, right?
When's,
We have other stuff that's on there, but
when's Matt Duvay coming?
It says 1:30 to 2.
Oh, it's 1:30. I forgot that,
I didn't know if he was actually coming or if he was
No,
No, I
just
think
sent
he's
us.
coming.
for some reason, it normally would have been next Tuesday. But for some reason, they changed it to the 18th. I didn't realize that till Friday, but she sent out a
well, regardless, Matt's isn't a big deal for us.
Well, Matt wants to change the way he's paid,
Okay,
so
see if
It's
he's
more of
got
a-
flexibility.
it's more of a big deal than what it normally is.
So you have to leave by,
I have to leave by noon or visit it every day.
and it starts at,
1:30.
So it's not like you could be on the phone anyway with us.
I have left the 20 after before it still made it. It was good that I didn't need any deputies.
Mhm.
But, no, I'll just
so everybody else on that one, they all have Tuesday meetings too, or?
no,
Cause
well, no, Kazoo does,
yeah,
yeah, and sometimes,
kinda curious if they're done with budgets yet.
I haven't seen, I'll send her an email here a little bit, tell her to do it.
So listen, so fresh seal, so there's nothing in it. other than water.
Well, it's not your district usually, though.
Can you take a taste?
Is it yours?
Would you like to have it, a swig of that?
I'm Sweden. Yeah, I bet.
Should I see if Chris can start early?
Sure.
Okey dokey.
She's a short timer anyways.
Yeah, she don't care.
Have to keep giving her a bad time about that.
So she'll go through
The end of the year,
the end of the year.
will not have to run.
I was really happy for her, so, she's been there a long time. Those grandchildren, they make a big difference.
Sounds like the daughter's gonna possibly move to maybe Wisconsin or something.
Where's she at now?
They're down in Alabama, he's finishing his,
What do you want to give to the fair?
is that,
What do you want to give to the fair?
Do we get reports back from the fair on their expenses and how? they
Yeah,
use it?
we gotta. Do we need to, appoint somebody new to the NIACOG board for the cities? Candy Hanna is our representative.
we have rotated it, and she was just the last one.
But she's not the mayor anymore, right?
Right.
If Cassie goes.
Yeah,
Hello. Hi.
Oh,
Ready to do budgets already.
Well,
fill in all gaps.
move along as long as it works for you.
We figured you're more flexible because you're a short timer.
girl, this is gonna be melancholy. This is the last time she's gonna come before us.
I know.
She gets to the hall and she'll be like, whoo, whoo.
Get to the what?
You'll get to the hallway after this and we'll hear whooping.
Although it's still almost a whole year, but
Yeah.
it's gonna go fast, I
Yeah, that's
think.
the last time we gotta present a
Do
budget.
this. Yep.
You know, we walk up, so you can't forget.
We'll have to put up with them anymore.
She's number 7.
She says,
We thought we were ready and we're still all pulling out the
That's all right.
papers, sorry.
So page 19.
It's almost like we need, like page headings or something at the bottom where there's a report that tells you, you know, what department you're in at the bottom, because sometimes it doesn't define on some of the pages.
These supposed to be new reports with the new system you're in.
Yeah,
Mm,
it takes a while to get used to.
and they didn't print out very well. They printed out by function,
That what?
by function, so they're not very user-friendly.
Yeah. No different.
The one thing I do like about it though is the multi-year, I think it goes back one more year than the old reports did. And it shows you the budget and the actual activity,
Mm-hmm.
Really
useful.
nice.
I like that too.
did you add another full-time position? Was that it for the, because the health insurance is jumping up 50,000.
50? Yeah, well,
No, I mean, that should be, I did the 29% increase.
So that's just the increase?
Yeah.
And you use 29?
Mm-hmm.
Seems big.
Was there change in what type of,
Did anybody go to family or anything like that?
And for the salaries, I did the 10%.
See, if you went with the 29%,
Did I add
it
that
would
wrong?
only be 94,000.
Okay. I must have added it wrong.
If I did that right.
yeah, that's about right.
It just seemed like that was a lot for the
Yeah.
percentage increase. That's why I thought, did you out one month?
I must have looked at it wrong. Otherwise, I didn't change a whole lot. I did, since I handed it in, the document and imaging, I bumped up to 6,000 just in case. I'm still trying to get some stuff finished up, transferring it from the old books and microfilm to computer.
Is that some of the same stuff that you were talking about in the ARPA funds too, or?
Yep.
So that would be the end of it, or?
Should be pretty close to the
And
end.
is it all searchable? Tagged?
I mean, not online, but if you come in the office, it's.
Yeah. So it doesn't waste a lot of time
Right.
thumbing through.
It's really kind of nice now to, somebody needs an old deed, you can just hop in the computer and print it off or email it to them. So a lot of times the attorneys will email or call and they'll need, if someone's lived in their house since 1966, they gotta go back to that deed when they prepare a new one if someone dies, So that's, we used to have to go pull out the old book and make a copy. So, I did bump up mileage a little bit just because gas is up. EMP mileage in some systems. But otherwise, I think I kept everything about the same except the increases that we have.
Salary increase looks like that would be about in the percentages.
Mm-hmm.
It was, the only thing that looked out of place to me was
That health insurance.
the health insurance.
Good eye, though. Yeah.
And try this at home, I'm a trained professional.
That's why we pay him the big bucks.
Yeah. He's getting the big bucks.
And it's hard to estimate recording of documents because you just never know what kind of year we're gonna have. It's been pretty steady though the last few.
And other than that, the only variable is what we do with the raises.
Right. When, do you have any idea when you're gonna?
Well, we told her to plug it in just so we can look at how it affects what we, it's gonna be a challenge though, because ag valuations are down. For the last year, I would say. And then, but overall, we're only up 1.1% or so.
Okay.
It'll change over the next few years, but
Next year we'll get our first year of the turbines being online 20%. Plus ag valuations will be up next year, I think.
I think so too.
But farmers don't care about the valuations. They only know what they paid last year and what they're gonna pay next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't raise the levy, but their taxes still went up.
Could be a scenario we actually lower the levy and they still pay more taxes next year.
Yeah.
what percentage were you saying was is like 69% of the total?
Oh, the total valuation in Winnebago County?
You said a number, you threw out a number.
Yeah, what was that? Yeah, it was something like that, land values or.
Through the actual sales, you mean?
No, just the tax base in the county, just about 70% of it was farmland.
Oh, the percentage.
Yeah,
I think I wrote it down.
I can't remember what it was, but it was,
So we rely on the road quite a bit.
We've had some pretty big land sales this year. I mean, it seems like
That won't show till next year.
the valuations for land in Winnebago County were up 20-some%
I can believe that.
last year.
Jordan's got to feel good about what he bought, what he did.
Yes.
It's, but we lag behind because we're still in some of the relatively depressed ag times as far as the valuations.
Seems like the further west you go, like into the Sioux, they really had some big.
Well, you get into northwest Iowa, they set records up there. Well over 20,000.
Yeah. Yeah, there was evidently some people that were really fighting.
O'Brien County was set the state record, I think.
Yeah.
And there's investors from outside the state driving it up.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't either. Oh.
When I'm
I don't
governor,
either.
when I'm governor, I'm gonna make a law that says you can't own farmland or buy farmland or own it unless you inherited it or you actively farm it.
There are some restrictions on, because there's corporations buying land from Arkansas.
I don't like sneaky corporations that are actually owned by China coming in and buying up our lands
For Bill Gates.
or whoever. It's just like in the last 2 years, our COVID 2 years, the top 10 richest people in the world doubled their wealth. When everyone else lost their keisters, those guys doubled their wealth. Tell me that somebody didn't know what was
Kind
going
of funny.
Is Fauci one of those?
on. Fauci did well, but he wasn't one of those.
Do you have anything else for us, Chris?
I don't think so. You guys have any questions or? Mine's
Well,
pretty,
other than the health insurance thing, it all looks pretty straightforward.
okay,
So just the two changes then, the 6,000
yes.
on the document and change the health insurance to 94,000.
What was the document at?
I had it at 3, but I thought, well, I better bump it up to 6 just to cover. Should be
Well, there it
getting
is.
back a bunch of
There it
stuff
is.
at the end of the month to work on, so.
Somehow I looked right over it twice.
All right. That's it?
Did we come up with a new number though on the health yet? Did you have a number?
Well, the number I came up with, so it should be like 94,000
94.
instead of 119, but
Okay.
you'll have to do the math on it.
I'll go figure that.
So if you subtract 25 and add 3,
Doing pretty
Not- you're dropping it 22 altogether.
Yeah.
So about 333.
Okay.
good. All right, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Here's the letter from Fair. And now run to the corner quick.
We have Veterans Affairs next. But it really doesn't start till 11, so is that somebody that we can call and see if they're available or not?
For what one?
Veterans Affairs,
Yeah, she's at the office.
or just wait till 11 for her?
We probably got other things we can talk about. Unless there's somebody else to fill after that.
We got 40 minutes to talk. Is it 11 was hers?
Mm-hmm.
Probably soon we're gonna have to start having some frank conversations about, but I don't know if she's inputted anything in to look at the levy.
Yeah, I don't know if she has or not. Yeah.
So they show a budget here for the fair, but they don't show how they did last year. So,
I'd like to see a.
Well, they spent a little extra last year because they actually had a midway,
yeah.
so.
Do they do do they not normally give a report every year, or do they come in, schedule them to come into a meeting?
Carnival in their budget is 24.5. But I don't know if they had some sponsorships for that or not. They show income for grounds entertainment of 2,500 expected. When you look at the expenses of 144, income of 130, and then question mark grants. So they hope to make up the $14,000 difference in grants. Here you go.
Take a break, guys.
That's the same amount as it has been for the last couple of years, isn't it?
The whole time I've been here, I think it's always been either 33 or 35. Might have gone up to 35 before you got here.
Oh, I remember increasing it.
Yeah.
It seems like I can remember, I wanted to say when I first got here it was 30. But that isn't, maybe it was 33 and I just know it was about 30.
I know we increased it at some point, but
Yeah.
I don't think I'm in favor of raising it this year.
Well, they had, they didn't really have a fair in 20.
Where'd that money go?
So, well, some of that made, where they had that midway.
And did they qualify for any nonprofit ARPA funds? You know,
They did, I hope they did it. Grandstanding. It's pretty.
I suppose all of this. Last time we didn't have all this on during the budget talks on Thursday.
I'm not good shutting it off.
We'll see what she wants to do.
Grandstand expense was the same as the grandstand income. So everything they get evidently goes to pay the shows.
That's their estimate. We don't know what the actual was.
Oh, this is, yeah, this is this year.
Do we want these things on right now?